to 12 Days of Crocheted Ornaments. Today we're going to be going over how to make this little kitty cat who has gotten itself all wrapped up in Christmas lights. For tools, you're obviously going to need some yarn. I'm going to be using two different colors today because I am going to be doing a different color for the paws. And then you're also going to be needing some black yarn or even green, whatever color you want your string to be. That's the other color you're going to need. And then you're going to need to figure out what lights that you would like your kitty cat to have. This one I did in kind of a rainbow lights. This next one, I rated my scraps from all the other Christmas holiday projects I've been doing so far. I'm going to be doing some red and green ones. You're also going to need a 3.5 millimeter hook. You're going to be needing some scissors, a needle. I'm using some 9 millimeter safety eyes to make the facial features, but you can also embroider on eyes if you'd like, and then some polyfill. Let's get into it. We're going to start this with a magic circle, and you are going to put 6 single crochet into that magic circle before you close it up. Next, we're going to be doing 4 gradually increasing rows. So we're going to start with the first one. That's going to be an increase in every single stitch. Your next will be 1 single crochet and then an increase in every single stitch, repeated all around, and then so on and so forth until you get up to 3 single crochet and an increase repeated all the way around. And we are up to row 6, and this is the row where we're going to include our little feetsies for our kitty cat. So if you are doing a separate color for your feet, if that is something you want to do, have it close at hand. We are going to be working on the back row, or the back loop for this row, and that is going to be, you see your 2 loops here? You're going to be working on this one right here rather than the full loop. So we're going to do 1 single crochet on the back loop. We're going to do 2, and before we close up this second one, I am going to switch to my second color of yarn, and still working on the back loop, I'm going to make a bobble stitch. So that's going to be yarn over, go under, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go under, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go under, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then one more time, yarn over, go under, pull up a loop, pull through 2. So you should now have 5 stitches on your hook. Because I'm using multiple colors, I'm going to switch over to my main body color, and I'm going to use that one to pull through all my loops. And then I'm going to do 3 single crochet on the back loop. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and before I close up my third, I'm once again going to switch to my secondary color and do another little foot bobble. So that's going to be yarn over, go under, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then continue that on until I have 5 loops on my hook for this particular kitty cat paw bobble. And then I once again switched over to my secondary color, and I am going to go through with it, and I am going to do an additional 12 single crochet until we get to our next part, all in the back loop. So now we are going to create our tail. To do that, we are going to chain 10. We are going to single crochet back down that chain. We are going to single crochet back into our original stitch, and then working on the back loop, finish out our row. So we are on to row 7, and we are going to start with 19 single crochet, not on the back loop, using the full loop once again. And then you are going to single crochet kind of right on the top of this tail, because we don't want to work the tail anymore. It is done. It is a tail, so we're going to put one in right there, and then you're going to continue on down the line until you close it out. Row 8 is going to be 20 single crochet and then a decrease and then 9 single crochet to close out your row. Do the following rows for the next 7 rows, and that point we'll get to putting on the first layer of lights. So I just finished row 15, and now it's time to start working the lights. And if this seems a little bit finicky for you, you are more than welcome to finish this kitty cat and then either not put lights on it or do these with fabric paint. This would be a great opportunity to whip out your mom's old case of fabric paint from the 80s, which has certainly dried up by now, but that's not important. So we are just going to chain these up. I'm going to work my yarn into this, single crochet just to, or slip stitch, I guess, just kind of get it going. And then you're going to chain usually like 2 to 4, depending on how big of a curve you're making. Make those chains, and then you're just going to single crochet into the spot that it fits to, and just wrap these around your kitty cat up until the point you've crocheted. Chained probably 3, and then do that again and just continue working that up. So once you've wrapped your lights up into the point that you've crocheted, you're going to put on the actual lights to your lights. And what I like to do for that is just take a piece of scrap yarn, put it on a needle, and just do like 3 to 4 stitches repeated over themselves and tie it in the back just to build up enough that it looks like a light. So we have our red one, that's again just 3 or 4 stitches repeated, and then I have a blue one or green one on the opposite side, and I'm going to continue to work them up every couple of rows or so along my string of lights in this pattern of red and green and red and green. So I've worked up my lights themselves, and now we have these 3 rows of increases here that we are going to do to build up for the head of our kitty cat. You are going to follow those increase rows up with 6 rows of single crochet to build up the walls of the head of your kitty cat. Once those 6 rows are done, you are going to do these next 2 rows of decreases, and then we're going to start working on the face. Okay, and then we're going to do our nose. We're going to take a little bit of whatever you want your nose color to be. I am going to go up from the middle of the feet because that's the middle of our little guy here. And then I'm about 6 rows up from the neck, and I am just going to make some repeated stitches over like a triangle shape basically to make my nose. So I make my middle stitch there, and I keep coming up through that same stitch and radiating out until you get a little nose like this one. And then we're going to place our eyes. You can either sew them in or place safety eyes, and those are going to be equal parts out from your nose. And you can see this is like the middle stitch of that row. 1, 2, safety eye, 1, 2, safety eye. So there is my face done, and now I'm going to continue to work my lights up in the same way that the last one was. I have worked up those 2 rows, added my lights, stuffed it up with polyfill, and now we're ready to do 3 more rows of decreases and close her up. And when you are placing your Christmas lights, make sure you leave room for your ears. You're going to crochet them right into the head so that you don't have to worry about sewing them on later. I try and do as many low sew projects as I can for you guys. So you're going to place them about halfway up the head. We're actually going to go up 1 more stitch. You are going to single crochet 4 right into the head itself in an even line, working up toward the closure of your head. Turn your work and do single crochet back the other way. The next row is a single crochet, a decrease, and then another single crochet. And then decrease your last 3 stitches into 1 stitch. And then I like to leave the string with just a little bit hanging off. Do a little bit of face shaping, which I have an entire separate video on. And our troublesome little kitty cats are ready for the Christmas tree.